We do have them, but it would work best to just use the scissors mostly.
You said to ferment, right?
Yeah, so your goal is to remove this outer layer of muscle and a little bit of fat and skin and expose the body cavity so you can see the organs inside.
An experiential education grassroots campaign has been operating in Washington County, Virginia schools for some time now. The goal and effort of the campaign is to provide a view of education to our students in its purest and most impactful form. Education that goes beyond factual information and into the social and emotional arenas transform learning into lifelong impactful experiences that students draw upon far into their future. The model we implemented consists of 5-day experiential camps to unfamiliar places. Currently, the Duke University Marine Lab trip provided to the students during the school year and Camp Connections provided to students during our summer months are examples of our best model for successful experiential education. The novelty of being in a functional group in new settings set the stage for students to open up to experience. Students forget that they are in school and become true learners once again. Throughout this video, you will see clips from previous experiences students have participated in, which will seem very wide-ranging. Our camps have fallen into some general categories like outdoor education, college life, coastal ecology, and history, etc. But the underlying purpose of each experience is for students to discover something new and significant about the world around them, and to discover something new and significant about themselves.
4, and then minus 6x equals 4.
Do we add the x?
So then we
subtract
subtract
4 from 6.
Yes, and that'll be 2x minus
24 equals 14. And
Nope.
then
And then you guys add the 24.
Yeah, add the 24 to the 14.
Awesome. We have 500 miles of trail, 78 miles of the Appalachian Trail, and we have 4 wilderness areas that are preserved in their natural state for future generations. Liver, intestines, kidney. The blowhole is right there. No erupted teeth yet.
3.2.
All right, Elizabeth, how are you measuring depth?
Oh, we use this thing.
Sonar?
We push this down and then we put it thumb down. And when this gets to water length, it gives us the number, and then we holler it over there, and then they write down the measurements.
Awesome.
Now, the white should be facing me. So I'm just going to take the end of the arrow here and knock it. And if you'll listen, you can hear it click. Okay? Now look, that arrow is not going to go anywhere. It's in there. Okay? If your arrow isn't knocked in and you go to shoot it, it's not going to go anywhere. It's dangerous. So you want to make sure your arrow is knocked in.
Okay, now if you go around this direction, right over there is Duke where we came from, and that's what goes out towards Shackleford, which is the main barrier island of this section of the Outer Banks Loop. It's also called Rachel Carson's Estuary. Alright? Cool. And so Taylor's Creek leads us out to sea, so we're kind of in what they call the sound.
Oh, that is actually a nice find. That's cool.
Look at this one over here.
That's what we call cave pearls that are beginning to form.
Hold on, I kind of want.
And notice how this is it's forming its own little dam right here at the top. And sometimes you'll see these in a big lake.
The Duke Marine Lab trip was one of the most impactful events in my life. Me personally, I was granted a grant by Mr. Steve On. I normally wouldn't have had the opportunity to participate in something of that nature, and was granted that opportunity. And upon seeing the ocean and having my first time be out on a boat away from being able to see any kind of land, and the experiences I had with the people around me, along with the activities that were presented there, just made some of the most impactful memories that I even hold dear now, long graduated, now into adulthood.
The trip to Duke Marine Labs for me stands out as a period in my childhood where we were able to visit and learn concepts that previously we may have only been able to learn about through textbooks. Engaging us in such a practical and approachable way opened the door to engage and immerse ourselves in the wonder and beauty that is marine life, and taught us to have a lifelong wonder and want to care and preserve our oceanic ecosystem.
Made a lot of good friends and got out of my comfort zone a lot. I did some things I normally wouldn't do at home, and I made so many good friendships and memories, and honestly I would highly recommend anyone to come out here because it really does just make you a better person, and you learn a lot about science, and it's pretty much a better version of school in my opinion.
After hearing about the trips, I knew I couldn't miss them, but at the time my parents couldn't afford to pay for them, so Steve On came up with the funds himself. I'm very grateful and thankful too, because those trips changed my life. Before the Duke University Marine Lab trips, I'd only been to Gatlinburg a handful of times and Myrtle Beach once. This gave me an opportunity that I wouldn't have had otherwise. Through these trips, I developed some lifelong friends, and my passion for wildlife and conservation continued to grow. On these trips, we learned about how college-level labs work, the local history, marine wildlife, and aside from that, a lot of us were also unknowingly developing much-needed social skills. I really think this trip is a lifeline for students to get away from the towns they know and experience something different.
And I visited the Duke Marine Lab on a field trip with my class almost 20 years ago. For starters, we had the most awesome teacher that taught us there was more to see in the world than just the walls of the classroom. I still remember that trip very well. My classmates and I were able to run around on the beach at night and find crabs and shine flashlights down holes to see what was in there. We learned about marshlands and sea life.
One thing about those trips that I think that they all share, regardless of the program, it's that these trips kind of have this quality and this ability to take students and put them in a different setting, and it kind of breaks down these barriers that you'd normally find in a different, like in a high school setting. So normally where you kind of might find cliques or negativity, I think just the way that it's so well run and just kind of the environment of kind of hands-on learning, it just kind of, it allows you to meet new people. So teachers from other high schools, I'm a student at Abingdon, and I got to meet students from, or teachers and students from all around the county that, you know, I know and talk to regularly now. And
just seeing the sublimity of the ocean to me was just one of the most fantastic moments of my entire life. And getting to experience all of these people and learning experiences, it's probably the best I've ever had in any sort of educational purpose, because I'm a very hands-on learner. And I never personally enjoyed biology per se prior to the Marine Lab, but after that, I'm kind of infatuated by it.
The first thing is I want to. This place is amazing. I would love to do this again. I said that already. I'm saying it again because it is great here. And you can tell that in everything we do here, that these people who got this all together, they put so much love into everything they do with this. They show so much
all summer, counted days. And we got here and then seen friends and made friends. And so many memories and pushed ourselves out of comfort zones. It's been amazing.
We all love education, but we're also all worried that despite our hardest efforts, many of our students are not reaching the potential we believe is inside of them. Our experiential education camps are a well-proven method of tapping into and releasing that potential, not just in the short term, but more importantly, in the long term of our students' lives. The problem we face is that the current funding structure of public education is not set up to provide these types of learning experiences. So for years and decades, local teachers have been taking it upon themselves to provide it. The existence of these experiences is tenuous, however, and funding is always an issue that threatens survivability. We hope to find a way to provide a stable platform for these experiences, not only to continue to thrive, but to expand so that more students, especially those students in need, can benefit. There are so many forces acting against our students today. What we have developed is something that pushes back against those forces and is successful in so many different areas. Support of our experiential education efforts is not a risk to any investment whose goal it is to provide long-term benefit to the future citizens of our community. We thank you so much for your time and consideration.
All right, kids, connections on 3. 1, 2, 3.